So where will this energy come from? Slide 41, where do oil, gas, and coal come from? I mean, where did they come from? Quite simply, these are just forms of ancient sunlight. We know that, times past, prehistoric times, there's massive rainforests and bogs and swamps, all this massive amounts of organic matter. We know the plant shifts, continents rise and submerge, and when the continent submerges and all that organic matter gets covered with ash or rock and gets compressed over millions of years, it turns into solid, liquid, and gas. It turns into coal, oil, and natural gas. So all we're doing is harvesting this ancient sunlight. The true key to health, the true key to life on this planet is the process of photosynthesis. It is plant matter that provides soil, that builds soil. It is the plant matter that harvests carbon and generates oxygen. It is plant matter that provides us with food and fuel and fiber. It is the wealth of this planet. Carbon, carbon-based fuels. And where do we get carbon from? The atmosphere. It's in the air. That tree outside your door that you think is a big, massive tree, the tree did not come from, the soil. It's not like the tree was formed by photosynthesis and the tree root reaches in and pulls a particle out of the soil and puts it into the tree up above. I think it's 93% of the tree outside is made from the carbon in the atmosphere, in air. So we have lots of carbon available for us. Matter of fact, I think we have an excess of carbon available to us, and we can harvest it in plants. And that's by which we create really real wealth on the planet. Consider this, slide 43, the amount of sunlight that intersects the Earth in 24 hours. It's more energy than all the conventional oil that has been or ever will be extracted. The energy we need is there. It's available to us. It's right outside the door. The next slide, the total global annual consumption of energy, it's 400 quads. It's roughly the equivalent of just 40 minutes of sunlight. Years worth of energy for all civilized cultures, 40 minutes of sunlight. And consider this, spider silk. Spider silk is 5 times stronger than steel by mass and size, and it's made from digestive crickets. And for you scientists out there, I had this at room temperature. We know that it's possible to make these really great fabrics in the laboratory, but it takes a tremendous amount of energy to produce those fabrics. But a spider can make this something stronger than steel by eating crickets. We can, if we just, the common term, the term called biomimicry, if we just watch and study what's happening in nature, we will be able to duplicate a way of living even superior to what we have today, and we don't have to destroy the planet to do it. And that's 45. That's the conclusion that Bill Mollison came up with when he coined the term permaculture. He was an educator at one of the universities. He was teaching agriculture and agronomy, and he was told that in the early 70s, hey, we're going to green Australia. We're bringing in herbicides, pesticides. You're going to teach these young people how to do some real modern day farming, and he refused. He said that's incredibly short-sighted. At most, you'll get 2 generations out of that, and then you're going to totally destroy your soils. You're going to turn Australia into a greater desert than it even is today. And so he had to quit his job because he refused to do that. And as he described it, he cut a hole in the bush. And it was during that 2-year period that he wrote most of the content that you see in the designer's manual today. The first book that came out was called Permaculture 1, but the ideas behind it and the approach were coined in that time in the mid-'70s. So when we look at permaculture, slide 46, what I love about Bill's work is that it didn't just come with this process of how do you do things, but rather it starts with an ethic. It says no matter what we end up doing, we have to first of all take care of the earth. We cannot pollute it and destroy it. 2, we have to take care of people, and we have to take care of people everywhere. All right, not just people on this side of the ocean. And the last thing is we have to find a way, as part of this care of people, sharing the surplus. There's no system in the natural world that hoards resources all for itself, onto itself as an island, and survives. Any species that becomes a dominant species will always eventually fail because it will consume the very things that is required for it to survive on. And we're doing that similarly as people, where we allow certain cultures or certain individuals to accumulate all the wealth. We have to find ways to share the surplus. So he starts with that. And so when we're really looking at permaculture, it's not really a technique as much as it is about relationship. Permaculture is about our relationship as humans to the world around us. And the question is, will or do we work with the natural abundance flows of our world and our universe, or do we ignore them?